2017 to order. And I need approval of the agenda. Fergie?
Yep.
Okay, second? Okay, all in favor? Adoption of the minutes for January 23rd, 2017, regular meeting. That's all.
Recommendation that council adopt the minutes of the January 23rd, 2017 regular council meeting as presented.
Second for that. Fergie? All in favor? Any business arising from those minutes? Seeing none, action summary sheet. Fire truck was delivered, so that can come off of there.
Please press any key on your touchtone keypad to remain in conference.
Duncan Keller will be calling in for the community forest presentation.
That's what we have to do.
Pardon?
That's what we have to do now.
When we get to the delegation, that's right.
Is there anything you want to talk about? Everybody okay with that?
Is the CN rail line, do we have any updates on that that we can talk about?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we had some really good news today. I got a phone call from with CN in Edmonton, called CN West. They've come to an agreement with Kennewick Gold on the repairs, and it's going to start as soon as possible. Awesome. That's good.
So I don't see on here, and maybe we didn't do a resolution towards it, I thought we had, was the getting the letter together that promotes Tumbler Ridge as a place for people to live for the hiring that they want to do there. We talked about that letter. Is that something that can be addressed in this, or is that
I know Brandon's been doing a lot of video. Is that what we're talking about here? No. Go ahead.
Thank you. Is that good? I believe Councillor Howe is talking about the Live in Tumbler Ridge pamphlets to go out. They are still being made. I'll put them on the tracker so you know what's going on with that. What are you doing?
So basically similar to what we had with the Fort McMurray fire update. We
That's
had all
correct.
This is what Tumbler Ridge can offer you if you wanted to move here.
Yeah.
That type of information can be given to Kenuma.
That's correct.
Like what type of a timeline are we looking at on that? Is like my concern is like they are doing a lot of hiring, and I know they're looking for positions out of town at this point. I don't know if they're specialized positions or what they're looking for, but if we can attract those people to move to Tumbler Ridge as opposed to Chepman, what type of timeline are we looking at for getting that information out? This has been about a month we've been talking about it. So.
Right.
I'll check a look. Our economic development officer's working on that. He's down in Vancouver meeting with Minister Bond right now. When he comes back, I'll check and I'll put it on the action items sheet so you can track it.
Thanks.
Okay. So we'll go to delegations, and I have a few delegations today, so I'm going to try to pull them all in 15 minutes. Try your best. First one is community forest, and sorry I don't have any names to go along with this. Who is it? Mr. Wall?
Thank you, Your Worship. So it appears there was someone who was supposed to be attending in person, but he's had an issue at his home he's had to run home to, and Mr. McKellar was supposed to be calling into the meeting, and he has not done so, so it appears that they may not be here today.
Okay, we'll put it to the end if Mr. Duncan phones will go back to it. Okay, 5.2, Tunbridge PR Library, Paula, you're going to address us?
We will do that.
Welcome.
Trent, you got the transcription? Yep.
Nice to see you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, public, and press. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. I'm proud to present you with an overview of our activities from the past year. Tumbler Ridge Public Library, evolving to meet our community's needs. Just a little overview of the library. We're a registered charity and a nonprofit organization with our own board of directors. We are no longer a fee-for-service or grant and aid organization in Tumbler Ridge's finances. We are a municipal library in that we are included as a line item under core services in your budget. Our budget was passed by the library board and submitted to the CAO, who incorporated it into your core services budget, which is being dealt with on Thursday. I have copies with more detail tonight if you would like them. The highest percentage of our budget goes towards staff. Libraries are people places, and as you'll see in our presentation, without staff, we wouldn't be able to offer the range or quality of programs that we do. I don't know if you'd like to ask questions regarding our budget at the end of our presentation tonight or on Thursday, but I'm happy to answer your questions at any time. You can also call or drop in to discuss specifics. Tonight is our opportunity to showcase our services, our team, and to highlight some of our offerings. We want you to see that the District of Tumbler Ridge's support allows us to provide residents of Tumbler Ridge with the most diverse selection of activities and programs offered to the broadest user base. We want to thank the district for providing us with a newly enlightened physical space. Come check it out. The lighting has made a huge difference. We also want to thank the district for providing the space itself. It makes a big impact to a nonprofit organization to be able to allocate all of our funds for program services and collection development. As you'll see in our presentation, by having a budget based solely on operational costs, we can focus all of our staff time on serving our community in the best possible way. 2016 was one of our busiest years, with an increase of 35% in usage compared to 2015, in spite of our population decreasing. Tonight we'll show you exactly how your library is being used, starting with our Employment Services Program, which Chris Norbury will present to you.
Due to the lack of federal or provincial employment agencies in Tumbler Ridge, the library has inadvertently become the employment center in our community. As we previously told you, we started a volunteer resume program when the mines idled, in response to a demonstrated need by workers with low literacy levels who had never had a resume and were desperately seeking employment in an unknown world. For the first time, they were applying to multinational corporations with large HR departments and needed help navigating the application process, which our staff was happy to do. In the past 2 years, the resume program has grown to include all workers, not only those with lower literacy levels. WorkBC has provided some support in Tumbler Ridge, and in fact, they offered a resume writing workshop at the library. Our clients continue to tell us, however, that when they call WorkBC looking for job search help, they're referred back to specific staff members at the library who will help them in job searches. The library is not reimbursed for any of these employment services, and in turn, we don't charge our clients. We often reduce or waive printing or faxing charges for clients whom we know are experiencing hardships. In addition to providing employment services, the library has become a haven for people seeking all kinds of social assistance. For example, we've helped young mothers apply for social assistance, gotten people connected with Rose Snyder and TR Cares for assorted issues, and most often we've become sounding boards for frustrated people experiencing a variety of hardships. We've seen confused and angry children lash out, and emotional outbursts from unusually calm and collected clients. It has been a difficult year, but we've also seen some positives, including more job fairs and the firing up of Canoe McColl. I'll now turn it back to Paula, who will discuss the Ministry of Education's strategic plan for libraries with you. You'll see some of the services offered in Tumbler Ridge that might seem exceptional are slowly becoming the norm.
Thank you, Chris. It's true. Libraries need to adapt it to their community's needs. Much like our library began offering the snack program, resume writing, work searches, and the technology assistance programs as the minds began to idle. Our library services have been validated by the ministry's strategic plan, Inspiring Libraries, Connecting Communities. We'll give you copies of this today. The shift from traditional library to employment services and social assistance hub was gradual but unavoidable. As a public library, we are mandated to, quote, provide British Columbians with access to the information and tools they need to learn, create, and thrive in today's changing world, unquote. Libraries need to be a place where, quote, lifelong learning, recreation, literacy, innovation, and knowledge creation, unquote, can occur. Following submission of our annual report to the province last year and Tumbler Ridge's presentation at the BCLA conference, the consultants phoned us because they wanted to highlight our library and showcase the services we began to offer at the beginning of the economic downturn in Tumbler Ridge. The consultants asked us to get clients to provide reviews or comments about our employment services, and as you see on the screen, one of our users said, quote, if you guys weren't here, I'd most likely be dead. I couldn't fill out the reports online for EI or assistance. I don't own a car to get to a center to get help. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have anything, unquote. The ministry wraps up by noting, quote, to this day, the Tumbler Ridge Public Library is supporting community members by giving them the tools they need to be successful and providing a safe space through career transitions, unquote. We continue to strive to offer the best to our community while still offering our basic services and programs, which Chris will now describe.
You've heard our after-school snack program mentioned a few times during this presentation. We'd like to note that the library has been able to run this program solely on donations from community and corporate partners. The library has been offering the staff time needed to run this program as an in-kind expense. Sometimes, we've had volunteers from the high school to come assist with the program. These students are gaining valuable work experience when they help lead activities during the program. I'd like to note that the snack program is also delivered Monday to Friday during school vacations, holidays, and non-instructional days. We still continue to run our traditional programs for all ages. Our kids programs include Wednesday Club and Lego Club for school-age children on Wednesdays, Lap Sits for babies age 0 to 2 on Thursdays, and Story Time for preschool-age children on Fridays. We actually run Story Time twice on Fridays, once for the Tumbler Ridge Children's Central Society preschool class, and then for the public again in the afternoon. In the summertime, we run our Summer Reading Club from Monday to Friday for 7 weeks. All of our programs are geared towards building and maintaining literacy skills through various means such as reading, singing, crafting, and more. We also offer a lot of diverse programming for adults. On Tuesdays, we have ping pong. Book club and adult coloring and board games happen on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we host Itchy Feet sessions in partnership with the Wolverine Nordic Mountain Society. And we host a lot of specialty one-time workshops and events to help our community, with the help of our community partners. In the past year, we've had Home Roots, which is a concert series offered in partnership with the Tumbler Ridge Community Arts Council. We've also hosted meditation nights several times throughout the past year. Wild Safe BC has come into the library to present a bearware session to the children and parents of the library. And during special Wednesday Club sessions, we've had a visit from the Education Minister, Mike Bernier, when we made a food craft, and in another session, we had a police dog demonstration by the RCMP. We've also had author visits from Rebecca Bender and Eric Walters in partnership with the TD Canadian Children's Book and Northeast Library Federation, respectively. In partnership with the BC Summer Reading Club, our TD Summer Reading Club hosted Makermobile, Creation Workspace for Kids. I've mentioned a lot of our community partners, so I'm going to let Paula take over, and she can tell you more about our traditional library usage and more about our partners.
Tumbler Ridge Public Library is following the trend of libraries by becoming busier during a recession. Employment services, including our resume writing, is extremely busy. Last time we presented to you, we had done 70 resumes for clients. Since then, we've done an additional 98 resumes, many after Conuma Coal bought Walter Energy. As Chris briefly touched on, we also help our clients with social assistance issues. What he didn't tell you is how emotionally hard it can be on staff members to spend day after day being sounding boards for frustrated, desperate clients and seeing firsthand all the hardships experienced by Tumbler Ridge residents. I'd like to take a quick moment to thank our staff for continuing to offer all the great work and support they do for our clients. 2016 was our busiest year in traditional library services, such as circulation and in all other programs and services we've shown you tonight. These numbers surprised me too. Actually, they blew me away. We've provided 507 separate program hours in 2016, a 32% increase over the 384 delivered in 2015. That means that almost 4,600 individuals attended those programs. This does not include the 6,000 hours of Wi-Fi used by our clients or the 11,000 hours spent on our computers. The after-school snack program alone served more than 20,000 snacks over a total of 255 days. That's actually 60,000 snacks because there's 3 items for each one. For the last couple of years, we focused intensely on collection development in order to meet the wishes that have been demonstrated by our clients' use. Looking at the numbers in 2016, it looks as though our focus on entertaining nonfiction, a wider variety of fiction, and larger book on CD and DVD collections has proven successful. In addition to the positive feedback from our users, the numbers speak for themselves. Overall circulation has increased by 35%, nonfiction by 27%, teen circs by 57%, DVDs 92%. Not everyone has Netflix. Our books on CD by a whopping 123%. We continue to discard outdated, inaccurate, unappealing, damaged, unused items from our collections and are currently focusing on junior fiction, picture books, and teen titles for this project. We've just completed our nonfiction section, which resulted in the creation of 2 new collections, biography and parenting. The parenting collection is housed in the children's section so parents can browse while their children attend programs or use the children's books. Mango Languages, Ancestry, and Learning Express Library are a few of our popular online databases. Mango Languages and Learning Express Library are both accessible from home, along with a lot of other databases, with a valid library card. Ancestry is only available in the library, but is quite popular with people tracing their family tree. Now I'm going to talk about partnerships, and this is where I'm going to keep it really short because there are so many. Chris mentioned partnerships. Let's highlight a few in no particular order. Industry Canada provides a grant that allows us to hire an unemployed young adult to assist our clients with technological issues. Since our staff deal with about 100 questions a week regarding technical issues, from how to turn on a computer, to posting pictures on Facebook, to connecting their phones to Wi-Fi, this is an invaluable resource to our library. We've been able to share this person with Northern Lights College's Targeted Initiatives for Older Workers program. He's been going to the college on a regular basis to provide one-on-one tutoring on the use of computers and other technologies. Also with Northern Lights College, we've obtained a grant through the Community Adult Literacy Program, which has allowed us to create the Community Kitchen Program and other adult literacy opportunities. Service Canada provided 6 free workshops for Tumblr residents, ranging from basic EI access to questions about old age pensions and passports. The library also works extensively with Success by 6 and its partners. We have a staff member on its board, host their monthly meetings, and have participated in several community events, including Welcome Baby Party, Pumpkin Patch, Spring Fling, Spaghetti Dinners, and more. The library partners with School District 59 by visiting the Strong Start program once a month and by hosting the students of the elementary and high schools for various visits and events. These are just some of our partnerships. Every community partner is important to the library, and we wish we had time to detail how all of them make an impact. However, as we're pressed for time today, I'll refer you to our slides and handout for a complete list of community partners, and thank you to each and every one of them. Every year, the staff solicits donations for Summer Reading Club from local and area businesses and agencies. Since I'm mentioning partners and donations, I'd like to thank 10,000 Villages who donate yearly to the library in exchange for our support and advertising. I'd also like to note that while our dollhouse raffle in December didn't raise a lot of money, it resulted in a partnership. As our winner, an author who was visiting Tumbler Ridge while her husband performed in the Home Root series. She bought 1 ticket. She'll come back in the spring and she'll give us 2 free workshops for the students and the users of the library when she picks up the dollhouse to take it back to her home on Galiano Island. In addition, I'm connecting her with the Northeast Library Federation, and maybe she and her husband, who does guitar tours, will get a tour out of winning the dollhouse. I'm extremely proud of the team we have and all of our accomplishments in 2016 and those so far in 2017, and hope the District of Tumbler Ridge continues to provide your unwavering support. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Well, every year, well, the last few years that you've been here, it's just amazing what you've accomplished down there. I always thought the library was just for handing out books. But I have lots of computer problems, so I might be down there more often. I didn't know you did that. Council, got any questions? Council McKay?
Not a question, just an observation, and it comes from just the time that I served on the board. And I tell you, it was a real eye-opener of just exactly the services you provided and the things that you would normally not see under a library. And you mentioned also to provide the umbrella group for all those other groups, like the Success by Six, the daycare, and everything else that kind of met there at the same time. So it's a little bit out of the norm from what we used to think of a library as. And thank you for all the assistance you give to the people that actually need it for resume writing, and all those type of skills.
Thank you. It's gratifying too that the province recognized that in what we do this year. We do have handouts that
I'll
we'll
write
give
down.
you.
It's okay.
Ready? Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, Tuesdays.
Thank you.
Probably need two more over here too.
Okay. Two more.
Hey, next we go to 5.3, the Prairie Young Society. Glenn, you're up. Thank you.
Just while Marina's giving these here out, I'd like to, good evening and thank council, because the Prairie Young Society came a long way from the teen center to upstairs and where the restaurant was to the place we have now. And it's been a blessing, that we can do some of these sort of things. And for the most part, we just thank you, for giving us space. And look after it pretty much. And before I let Maureen talk, because they say I talk too much anyway, so but if there's any questions, we'll go over some of this stuff with you, as we go along, and we'll go from there.
Hey, Mayor and Council, other folks. As you can see, we make use of that on the third page there, the fee for service. And that covers some things. We've also got money raised through the 50/50 draws. And we have a little bit from our yard sale and our Christmas craft. So generally, 5 days a week and often Saturday as well if we have a volunteer. We're open and we're available. We did have our grant, which a new provisions, which we shared with the TRSS, the leadership class that fed us very nicely for meals, the drama class, and they were able to access nice costumes if you went to their plays. The fish farm, which was really quite a success, and even was talked about by CBC Radio. I don't know if there's anything else. But
I'd like to say there, that we're we're open to everybody, or the seniors, anyone can join, as you can see, like on number 4 there, like things like Christmas and Thanksgiving, a lot of people don't have places to go, so like, I'm personally blessed with a good executive, we decided to have something for them too, and everything else, and we, have been pretty successful. We get quite a few people, like, a lot more than we figured, and everything else, but then, we never know about that and everything else, but, and like, we have some things coming up, I don't know if it was really on here now, like, planning some things, like, rather than just sit over there, which is okay too, if you play cards and everything else, but rather than, sit around, we're looking to plan some trips, as a matter of fact, I'll come up at the next meeting, like, I know they've been, going to some places in Fairview, was it Faircroft?
We went to
Burning
the,
Gardens.
to Dunvegan Gardens and to the reproduction or assembly there of the former fur trading post, and that was very well enjoyed. We had some other things on the cards, but it didn't work out last year, but we'll start earlier this year to plan so that we can fill the summer up. There are lots of places to go.
We really haven't gone that many places this year gone by, but we hear different people, like the good mayor and everything, that has river boats and things, and give us a good deal, like we might even get hired, but we want to do things like this here, something, rather than do something for the people, and everything else, and we've been talking about it, so we had talked, like the next meeting, we're gonna get some things, we've got them all lined up and start getting them ready for the summer here, and when it's, feasible to go some places, and everything else, and, go from there, so that, it's not just a place that we sit and eat, and everything else, and, feed the diabetes and all that stuff, but we're going to, get out and do some things, and, we're looking forward to it, we'll bring some things up at our next meeting,
Yeah, well, we did subsidize, on the second page, we subsidized attendance at the Home Roots concert. There's 2 concerts left. And we also offered free entry to the museum last summer. We thought people could start right in their hometown. So that worked out for anybody that was interested and that belonged to the society.
We're gonna try there, it's coming up, I think it's on the 14th, gonna try a dance, and see how this here goes about, and everything else, and so like, I know some of you people are the same age, like you're all welcome, and come over and see what we can do, and everything else, and if it, works out, you might have to be looking for a little bit bigger place, but we're gonna put some feelers out there, and see what happens at this, I think it's the 14th.
That's the Valentine's
Day, we're gonna see how that works, and if we need a bigger venue, like we might be looking at the community center or something like that, room 4 and 5, or we'll see how it goes, but I think our main thing is, like we wanna get things moving, and get people doing something, rather than just sit around, and everything, and even though sometimes that's enjoyable, and get the cutthroat stuff, you don't play hearts, do you? No friends, no friends. But no, like it's pretty enjoyable over there most days, and everything else, and they do quite a bit, but we want to expand some rather than like with dances and things, and get everyone moving, everything else. So that's pretty much. If you have any questions, for all means, like. If I can't answer it, Maureen can, or we have Bev here, and some other people.
I haven't been to a potluck for a while, but I will be back.
Okay, you're welcome,
I
man.
try to get in front of you. A little more of that.
No, man, I lose out on the deal. I come up at the rear. So, No, but, they don't really need it, they really don't.
And we will talk about that riverboat trip. We have talked about it before, it never has come to anything from that. And I can still dance.
Good deal, you know, like, when you look it up there, it's out there and shake your good thing, eh?
Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much for the
Thank you,
presentation.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I believe we are.
TR 5.4, TR Health Center Foundation. Are you,
No, I'm just here in
then you
case,
better have.
just in case I need.
Welcome, Ken.
You should have, oh, you won't have.
You got a little handout here for you.
Thanks.
What you have is first of all, the items that were purchased since 2004. There were probably some before that, but it's a little hard to find the earlier information. Now, all of this was purchased by monies donated and some raised by the Health Center Foundation. And these items are all used in what we call the emergency area. You can see on the second page the total of that comes to. The third page gives an idea of some of the donations that I guess most of the donations we've received from various companies. That amounts to over 151,000. And then there were also personal and in memoriam donations by individuals. Now it looks good, but since the downturn in the economy, we aren't likely to see too much of those large donations anymore. And that kind of puts us in a tough spot, especially if we're going to be purchasing any more items. It seems like we have some older items, older machines and that we may be asked to replace. We'd also like to add some new items. It's all in aid of patients that come, and sure, we have the larger hospitals in Dawson, in Prince George, and Fort St. John, but immediate needs here are the things that are going to help our patients and going to make life a little easier for the doctors and nurses when they're dealing with people in the emergency area. We would like to look up to 80,000, but we are not going to be able to do that if we empty our bank account. We're really in a bad spot as far as if something comes up suddenly. We have raised, besides that list of donors, we've raised some money. We've put up a barbecue. Actually, Bev was involved with that twice at the Grizz Fest. Raised $2,500 each time. We've joined the Chamber of Commerce so that we can sell retail items there. We sell craft items out of the cabinets at the health center. And we also have a table at the Christmas craft fair. We did some silent auctions, and if you've been to the clinic, and you probably have, you'll see the retail items, the handcrafted items, and the prints by Brad Piatka, who consigned his prints for a very small fee. There are 5 prints left, and this artist has passed away this summer, so there won't be any more. So that's about the way things stand right now. If you would like to continue.
Mayor Person and Council. The PR Health Foundation is requesting a resolution from Council for an NDIT Foundation marketing grant. And we require this grant to make application for this. We would be applying for $40,000 from them. And we do have a little over $80,000 in the bank right now. The equipment that we're going to purchase is $80,000. So that will leave us with a little bit of money left in the bank account, which we will apply to more equipment as required this year. It's turned out that Northern Health is not really contributing to our health clinic here, and it's been left up to the foundation to now raise money any way it can to buy this new equipment. The one thing is that they want to purchase, the biggest purchase is an ultrasound machine. This can be used for diagnosing kidney stones, also for pregnancy problems, and right now people are having to go to Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, drive all that way to have an ultrasound that takes 10 minutes. Our government has been expounding these taxes on all kinds of exhaust emissions and everything else, right? And they're trying to nail us with that, but they don't think that if we had some of this equipment here, we wouldn't have to drive all that distance. And there's people that are going there every day from this town. So, and this equipment isn't going to cover all of it, all of their examinations, but it will help a lot. And maybe reduce some of the carbon credits or problems that we have. So we're just asking for this for the foundation. We're not asking for any money from the town. We can possibly get it other places. This is a new thing. We've never tried to get a grant as such. And it looks like all our people that were donating money for from especially oil and gas, they're in bad shape, and they're not able to donate like they were before. So we're going to have to look at other resources, and that's what we're going to do here. We're putting up a new web page. We're also just going to find different methods of raising money, and hope that we can satisfy the needs of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, and I was one of those people that had to go to Dawson Creek for 10 minute routes or something, so I know what you're talking about. And NDIT, you know, it'd be interesting to see how this works out for you, because, just when that, we were talking to them down in, East George last week. They're having trouble getting rid of all the money they got, so, maybe this is a start of a good thing.
I keep hearing this, so I thought, well, we could use it.
Yeah, I told them that too.
Can I
Send
ask,
it in mind.
oh, sorry.
Sure.
I just wanted to say that like CNRL, they donated, from their golf course. They had a, you know, like their golf tournament a few years ago. And somebody up there was from here. And they gave us their total proceeds of $27,000 some dollars. And Spectra has given us like $5,000 a year, and they've purchased 2 beds. And, but now they're down to $1,000. And we rely on Barb, and she communicates with the doctors. And so they tell her what they need. And we're the only ones in the Northeast that don't have an ultrasound machine. And Northern Health has purchased 3 things since 2009, and we've purchased like 34 things since 2004. I mean, I know they must have got the X-ray machine, but I'm just talking about like the things that I know about. So we rely on Bard big time.
We appreciate what you guys do, and, I guess that's coming in the meeting today, to support the grant application.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll address that at that time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else in council have anything? Okay, I think it's a 5.5, the Chamber of Commerce. Mary Lynn and Donna. Mary.
Tim.
Oh. Didn't even see him sitting there.
It's kind of small.
I'm quiet too.
Okay, the floor's yours.
Okay, I guess we want to start out by just saying thank you to council, mayor and council for the support you've given us in the past. I know last year we came in here and we said we'd like to keep the visitor center open all year round, and you supported that, and I think you'll see from our presentation that it was a great decision. So these are just a few of the things we've been involved in the past year. So in 2016, we moved from 40 members to 100 members. And that's pretty astounding given that there's only somewhere in the range of 160 business licenses sold in the community in the year. We've been doing a monthly chamber page in the newspaper, and that's been sort of telling what initiatives we're involved in, kind of the happenings in the community and what's coming up. But the main thing that we've been doing is running the visitor center. So I'm going to let Donna speak to this one.
For the presentation. So I'm the secretary of the chamber this year, and worked closely with Jerry Lynn and the rest of our board to present the budget. And we're at the end of our 3-year fee-for-service term. So last year we presented to you so that we could request an increase, as Jerry Lynn mentioned, to run the visitor center 12 months a year, and we haven't got into the detail of that yet, like the results. But for this year and the 3 years going forward, we are at the same request as for last year for the support from the district. So that sum from the district, the request is $150,000, and how we break that out is the visitor info center operating expenses are $133,907, and that is the 2 part-time staff and Jerry Lynn as part-time manager, because she also manages the chamber, and all of the cost of operation from the printing that we do for the brochures and marketing and advertising around the province. The chamber operating expenses are $39,293, and that is limited office expenses and staffing costs for a part-time manager. And total expenses then $173,200. So after the district grant comes off, we have income of $23,200. So that's the monetary side, and then our calculation of in-kind contributions is $61,150 to operate the chamber, and that is man hours for the board, as well as expertise offered and space, equipment, and other things like printing and copying. All of that comes in kind from membership. So that's the other side of our contribution.
Awesome, thank you. It's actually down 9,000 from last year. I think last year we got 115. So this is our staff, or was our staff. Birgit retired in February, so now we're left with Erin and Gladys and myself. And those two women work really hard. And as you'll see from our presentation as we go along, we get a lot of visitors. So if you notice the blue area there, that's our stats from 2014. That was somewhere in the low 5,000. The gray area is our stats from 2016, or 2015, sorry, that's about 9,800. And then the reddish or orangish area is our stats from 2016, and that's 10,597. So if you'll notice, between 2014 and 2016, our visitor numbers have more than doubled. And a lot of that is due to our beautiful new visitor information center. People come into town, and that's a place where they want to come. They want to see local crafts and artisans work and just come in and see what it's like. The other thing, and I believe this was suggested by one of the council from last year, was to keep a phone log. So that's something we've been doing this year, is keeping a phone log. We've monitored all of the phone calls, and we've separated them into categories. And so this is our 2016 phone log. You'll see that we get a lot of calls about snowmobile trails and about hiking trails. We get calls about the chamber. We get calls from the district of Tumbler Ridge. Lots of people will call us and say, you know, what about business licenses? And we'll send them over here. So we sell a lot of local artisans crafts. And I apologize that some of the words are going to be hidden. This was done on a Mac, on an Apple computer. And when we transpose it into this, it sort of messes up the layout. We sell a lot of jackets with the Tumbler Ridge logo on. The logos were designed just for the chamber.
Done locally.
Done locally. Everything is done locally. And we sell a lot of beautiful woodworking crafts. These are our Visitor Information Center 2015 and 2016 gift shop sales. So if you notice, the blue line is 2015 and the red line is 2016. And it's just been incredible. It's just grown and grown this past year, and we've seen a lot of sales go through. And numerically, that's how it transposes. So our lowest month is probably in the $700 to $800, and our highest month of sales would be up into the $8,000, $9,000 range. And what's cool about those numbers is that that's money that's going back to local artisans, local crafters in the community. So one of the other things that we've done this year is we welcomed classroom visits to the visitor center. We did a summer Geo Explorer contest. I don't know if any of you took part, but it was very well received. We give people a little passport book, and they go out and they take a picture of themselves in an area that's in the passport book. They come in and they get it stamped, and it's sort of like you're traveling around, but it's all local. And it was pretty well received. It's our second or third year of doing it, and we get a lot of people buying in. And these were our two winners. You'll recognize one of them is sort of wearing a District of Tumbler Ridge uniform of sorts. So those are two of our winners. The cool thing this year was Backroads Map Books actually donated about $800 in prizes, which was pretty amazing. So there were some happy people. Another thing that we do is we populate the visitor Visit TR website with amazing photographs from local residents. So as they go out on their hikes, they take pictures, and we use those pictures to put on the website, and we get a lot of hits on that website. A lot of these posts are getting upwards of 6,000 and 8,000 visits to the different posts, and people are seeing this and going, "Wow, this is someplace where I really want to visit." We on Saturday mornings in the summer or Sunday mornings we have we work with the Wolverine Nordic Mountain Society, and the hikers meet in front of the visitor center or inside in different weather, and they have prearranged hikes. This is another event that brings a lot of people into the community and into the visitor center, and people really seem to love those hikes. The Chamber has taken part in the branding or the rebranding of Tumbler Ridge and our amazing new brand. And one of the things that Destination BC has really pushed this last year is taking your visitor center outside of the visitor center. So we've set up at events like GrisFest and the Emperor's Challenge. We bring brochures, we bring information, and talk to people about the other things there are to do in the community. And try to keep people here for that week between GrisFest and the Emperor's Challenge. We're involved in planning the regional poker ride, which takes place every year in August. The last couple of years, the weather has been pretty nasty, but it's highly successful. We'll get 30 to 60 motorbikes into town that weekend, and everybody has a great time. We hired two summer students last year. We've applied for 3 this year because our numbers are going up so quickly. Last year we were known as the favorite place of all the motorcycle riders because if you notice there on the screen, we had, they'll stop at different places. They'll have Subway or they'll have pizza or whatever. And we decided we were going to do candy bags. So we got them little baggies and they could fill up with all those different candies. And that gave them something to munch on as they rode to Dawson Creek. We've been working on redesigning our eye signs. Destination BC has gotten rid of the old Supernatural British Columbia logo, and so they've asked all communities to redesign their eye signs. We're in a bit of a discussion with them right now because they're not happy with our new logo. They want us to have just a TR logo, and so we're trying to explain to them that this is our Tumbler Ridge logo, and it's our new brand. So we'll see where that goes. Jordan has been very helpful, and John as well. This year we did 10 weeks of Lunch and Learns, which promoted marketing of businesses, building of businesses, how to start businesses. We would have up to 35 people at each of those workshops. They were well received, and we had come out of that 3 to 5 new businesses start up in the community, and it was a really positive initiative. And Community Futures funded that program. There's April Moy talking about how to start up a successful tourism-based business. We were involved with the district and BC Hydro in organizing and planning and putting together job fairs. And those were really successful. A lot of people coming through. It was a tough year for a lot of people without jobs. They came through, they learned about upgrading their education, they learned about services that Work BC offered and what Northern Lights College offered. They learned about jobs that were available in the region. There was a lot of dialogue. They built a lot of hope. We had the Northern Gateway breakfast, and that was something that we opened up to everyone. We arranged that for Northern Gateway. We offered Service Canada workshops to our membership. And we arranged the Grisfest parade. We built this city on rock and coal, and actually had a lot of fun with that. Small Business Week, another one of our ads that went into the paper, just talking about small business and how important it is to support local business. And there's a list of our members at that time. I believe there we had 89 or 90, and that was earlier in the year. And then one of our large initiatives this year was the Still Standing Taping and Comedy Show. What an amazing experience. They came in with a crew of 15 and they stayed at a local hotel. They ate food here, they shopped here, and overall it was just a great experience. And that came along with the 35th birthday party, and I'd like to thank the district for supporting that. I think that it was something that was enjoyed by all, and we had a lot of people take part in that. Action Play, it built us a beautiful birthday cake. We had to have it guarded, some of our finest. Notice he had his hand on his gun to make sure nobody tried to steal any of the cake before it was ready. And the mayor was one of the people that will be featured on the show, on the Still Standing show. This is him. I'm not sure what he was saying there, but if it was with Johnny, he was probably getting into some kind of trouble. So, and this is just a couple more pictures from that. And this is the lineup to get into the show. It was pretty incredible. It's been a long time since Tumbler Ridge saw lineups like that. Now I'm going to let Tim talk a little bit about the JCP.
Okay, one of the big things the Chamber did this year was we applied for a job creation partnership with the government, and that brought close to $300,000 into the district. We employed 19 people plus 2 foremen through the length of the project, so, and we're all local people that were out of work at the time. So it helped a lot of them out. A lot of them said it was actually life-changing for them. It wasn't a lot of money that they were making, but it gave them something to do and a purpose. And they learned a lot of new skills. We got them first aid training, chainsaw courses, ATV safety courses. So it furthered their skills, and it's actually led to some future work for at least one, if not a couple of them. The foreman we had, the project leader we had, Bill, there on the right, he was recently up in Chetwynd on a project there for a pipeline, and he hired one of the workers that he had on the JCP project this summer and brought him out there, and that's also led to future work for that person this summer with BC Forestry. So it was great in that respect. We had the new shelter built. Well, this is the Quality Lake Trail that we built. This was an idea that we came up with the ATV Club about 4 years ago. Was a vision to build this trail, and at that time I talked to the chamber board about it, and they got on board and decided we'd go for this grant. So that was the culmination of our effort, was this new, it's roughly 14-kilometer trail to Quality Lake. And then we also cleared 2 other trails, one being the 5 Cabin Creek Trail and the Mount Herman Trail. You guys will see a little bit more about that in a couple of days here when I present with the ATV Club. But yeah, we built a new shelter at Moose Lake. I don't know if anybody's been out there to see that yet, but that was a fantastic addition to that area as well. And yeah, we had that's the shelter there. We had some contributors for that. Pattern Energy contributed $20,000 to that project, and the cement pad, which was poured last year actually. Boria contributed $5,000 toward this project, and
This was how it looked before we used the district's money, and this is how it looked after.
yeah, they closed it in and put a nice stove in there, so I'm sure that'll get a lot of use with ice fishermen in the wintertime. And the Quality Lake Trail, we still got some work to do on that. It's an awesome trail for anybody that's been over it, but you can only go so far with chainsaws. It's left a lot of stumps that stick up 4 or 5 inches high, and we actually have money in the leftover in the project budget, and we have a mulcher slated to go over that entire trail probably in June or as soon as the weather allows, and that'll get rid of all them stumps, and it'll just be a first-class, well-groomed trail. So, yeah, it was a great project. It was a lot of work. Jerry worked tirelessly on that. It was a huge undertaking. We learned a lot from it. If we ever decide to do it again in the future, it'll be that much easier, but it was big.
This was the other announcement that was made at the grand opening of our Quality Lake Trail, the Canusa Fall access maintenance improvements, that the province is going to be taking care of that road. It's great news. And Tim also worked tirelessly on this project. He put in a lot of volunteer hours. There's a lot of things that I didn't really know about that he had way better information on. Another thing we took part in was the Business to Business Expo organized by the Community Futures that took place in Dawson Creek. I believe the mayor was there, he spoke at that. And I'm not sure, I know Roxanne, you were there? No? No, there was a few people from Tumbler Ridge. We spoke at the Northeast BC Resource Coalition Forum in Taylor this past November. And Christmas was a busy time for us. As you can see by our newspaper page that month, there was a lot of things going on. So Paula, in her presentation, spoke a little bit about partnerships that the library has. Well, the chamber has a lot of partnerships as well, and those are our chamber memberships. And so the people that are members of the Chamber of Commerce are people that we work with. The Child Center, the library, I have a list, but Tim has it in his pocket, folded up into small paper. So the library, the Global Geopark, Success by Six, Child Center, United Way, Wolverine Mountain Nordic Society, and the museum. Those are just a few of them that we work with. This year we promoted shopping local. We tried to get people to put this on their Facebook to encourage people to shop locally. And that did help, but I think this initiative really helped. This was fantastic. We started this and we started it late, and we were shocked at how well it was received. In 3 weeks, participating businesses sold over $40,000 worth of merchandise, which was incredible to see in Tumbler Ridge. And those are our participating businesses. And we took part in the Tumbler Ridge Christmas Light Up contest, which the district sponsored the prizes for. I believe we had 14 homes that entered this year. There's some very beautiful, well-decorated homes. We also took part in the silent auction, the Tom Cochrane guitar from Grisfest. So how that happened was the Chetwynd Communications Society was donated a guitar by the Bank of Nova Scotia. They brought it with their employees to Grisfest, and at Grisfest, their employees, their radio announcer, they went behind the stage and they got all of the artists to sign that guitar. And Tom Cochrane was kind of center and right up there. So they called it the Tom Cochrane guitar, and they donated it to the district of Tumbler Ridge, or to the town, to raise money for the food bank and for the thrift store this Christmas. And I'm happy to say that that guitar went for over $1,000 and raised over $500 for each, the food bank and the thrift store. So that was pretty incredible. We hosted numerous craft shows, and thank you to the district again for allowing us to set up in the community center. I think it's sort of a natural, sort of a partnership to have craft shows in the community center, because it brings people into the community center. And one of the things I'm really hoping to get going is that every weekend that there's a hockey tournament or a curling tournament, if we can set up a craft show in the community center so that when people are there and their kids are playing hockey and there's maybe a break, they can walk around the community center and do some shopping and just see what's in town. And hopefully by coming out that direction, they actually go out into the community, into the downtown business more. And there was the thrift store getting getting the money for the Tom Cochran guitar. And so this guy, he spent a lot of time at the visitor center after we sort of welcomed him to Tumbler Ridge Christmas at the Holly Jolly event, and he brought a lot of smiles to a lot of faces. It's not working on here. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Looks like I'll try once more. Somebody who's a computer genius. Anyways, you got a play button. Oh, okay. I need to make it bigger.
Doesn't look like it's active.
No, it's not working. So I think it's because of the transposing it from a map. But basically, I don't know, did anybody go sit outside the visitor center and watch?
I saw it.
He was super popular. There would be cars sitting outside of the visitor center every night just watching. Santa Claus would come to the window and wave at the kids, and it was really great. It was a fun thing to have. So this past year with the visitor center, we had one complaint that was brought to my attention, and that complaint was that somebody had a flat tire on the way to Canuso Falls, and they weren't happy. So I figure for a community that's got so many trails and stuff, for us to get one complaint about a flat tire, that was pretty impressive. And we also were recognized by, and maybe somebody can help me with this, but we were recognized by an organization. Anyways, we got sort of a recognition thing as well about our visitor center being fantastic and bringing people into town. I can't remember who it is. No, it was like an international publication kind of thing that recognized our. And I think that's all.
Thank you. It's funny, like that trail up here, we talked about for many years, and I remember sitting in the restaurant over here talking, I think you were probably there too, Tim. You know, and then when it does come, the town does well on it, people get trained, you know, it's if you guys, I've been involved in a few of those things, but you don't add them all up until you see them on screen yet.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, just to say in summary, it's been an amazing year of growth in a time when it's least expected. It's nice to see changes happening in the community, but they're not happening very quickly. We know some people are really struggling. But to see that kind of attention to the visitor center, I think really supports the district's initiatives toward tourism. It's been amazing to see people from all over British Columbia and from farther abroad coming and being really excited about what they find here, and they can see it because we have such a beautiful visitor center that really showcases it. So, thank you for that.
Anybody got any comments or questions? Kirby?
Thank you, Mayor. So when the chamber takes over a visitor center, a lot of that revolves around tourism. So how's the business flavor in town? How are your membership feeling? Is there any business issues that you can see coming forward?
Anything that will be coming forward, we'll bring it to council. Businesses have talked to us, and I kind of mentioned this before, but we've gone through a recession. Businesses are struggling, and it's going to take a little while for them to get back up. And we've had meetings with John. He's attended the chamber, and Jordan has attended one of our chamber meetings, and Joanne comes regularly and kind of hears what's going on with businesses in the community. And I think that we've really built a strong chamber this year, and I'm hoping that every year that it'll continue to get stronger and more positive. Hopefully, I mean, if there are things that the business community is looking at, we can bring them to the district and feel comfortable in coming before you, bringing them to you. I have one more thing before, I won't say it, but if you have more questions about this stuff, then I'll let you.
Just good.
Just about out of time, but you make it short.
Yep, this is just, the Chamber of Commerce is asking that the council declares Chamber Week, so proclamation, and it's in your package. So whereas a strong local business community is a key driver of our local economic prosperity, and whereas a strong local business community creates jobs and opportunities for residents of Tumbler Ridge and supports community growth. And whereas Tumbler Ridge Chamber of Commerce is a business organization dedicated to strengthening Tumbler Ridge's business community and helping our town to thrive. And whereas every year members of Tumbler Ridge Chamber of Commerce dedicate countless volunteer hours in service to our local businesses and community. Now therefore,
I, Don McPherson, Mayor of Tumbler Ridge, do hereby proclaim that February 20th to 24th, 2017 shall be known as Chamber of Commerce Week, the District of Tumbler Ridge. Thank you for that. Okay. Thank you for the presentation. Great. Well, that takes us to correspondence. Here's 6.1. I guess we haven't heard from Duncan, so we'll just put that to another date. 6.1, Chamber Tumbler Ridge Committee Force sponsorship. Information or discussion? Okay.
I think it's important that one of our members had a bit of a situation he had to go home for. He was here earlier on and had to go. So before we get to this, I think it's important to know just exactly what it is the sponsorship is for and how important it is to the group. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the presentation. Would you mind, Their Worship, if we put this off into the whole thing another time?
We got a while before that comes up anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So 6.2, NDIT project 4751, the Economic Development Capacity. Information and discussion. Councilor Kirby.
Yes, excellent. We got it. Move for information.
Okay. Seconder. Aye. All in favor? Okay, the fish pond, 6.3. Information or discussion. Councilor Hall.
For discussion?
Okay.
So, I think Councilor Perkauka had brought this up previous. We were looking for what is our plan for responding to residents when we get a letter from them. The second letter that she sent, that she hadn't received a response from council for quite a while. What do we have like a policy or any set way that we're supposed to at least respond to people when we send a letter in? I know we had a similar issue with the fence down on Bergeron.
There's no policy when people are sending the letters in. They're usually looking for clarification from council on what your position is. So if council provides clarification to administration, we can send those letters out, but without that.
Well, with that, shouldn't we maybe, when we get these things that says receive for correspondence, information, or discussion, that maybe we should exactly put that, like, we should be sending out a response for clarity instead of receiving these things for information. There's a lot of stuff that we go through here that, gets passed over, but something like this, maybe, is there any way that we can kind of, this is a resident of Tumbler Ridge, as was the other one that had a concern that wasn't addressed for a long time, so. Is there some way that we can at least say, you staff can bring it to us and say, you guys should be at least telling us what you want to respond with, like, instead of just for discussion?
We had a discussion on the fish pond, and I can't remember if we decided not to go. Mr. Walton,
That's correct. Maybe I'll just address that in two parts. First to Councillor Howe, what we can do if staff feels that council should be responding to these letters, we can put receive for discussion. I would say it's not really staff's or administration's job to tell council what you should be responding to and what you shouldn't be responding to, but if council would like us to maybe give you a little bit of an indication, you know, hey, this is something you might want to consider, that's something we can do. And as far as where we are in the fish pond, council requested us to do a report on what it would take to make that into a fish pond, and from the best I can recall, we found that it was going to take about $165,000 to do the baseline readings to find out if it was even possible to become a fish pond in the future. When council saw the costs on that, especially given that there was absolutely no certainty that that money would lead anywhere, council decided not to go with the project, and since then, administration has not worked on the project whatsoever.
That would be the kind of reply I would think would go back to a letter that was sent to us like this, is it, what we've done, and whatever, just, these are concerns that we're not looking at as letters, but we have been. That's what you're.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we had the discussion in council, and it's just that the response was never given back to the resident to say that, you know, they'd stop dead in its tracks because of the cost. You know, there may have been some flavor, and it may come back in the future, we don't know, but at this point, I didn't think anybody was interested in spending that kind of money on it, and that's just to communicate to them as well.
It's an idea that's floating around there, but I even talked at a regional district meeting today about us thinking about that, and I was told to back off on it, because there's more problems than there is advantages. So, we'll bring that up some other time. But anyway, anything else on that? Councilor Guy?
Yeah, just to kind of reiterate what Councillor Howe was talking about, and I agree, like, you need a policy about this, and it is written to mayor and council, so it is actually up to us to give that direction. You know, just so that everybody knows where the ball actually lies on this, right, so.
So what we could do is maybe advise, after we see the letter, this is what we'd like to send to the whoever wrote the letter. I think there should be some kind of reply sent to this, especially if we've got two letters on it.
Just, if you want to pass a motion asking administration to write a letter detailing the history of the project, we'll do so.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Put that forward.
Councilor Guy, all in favor? Okay. And I think that's what the policy will have. We have to have it, just see the information that we say in the plan that we have, that letter. Okay. 6.4. It's the TR Global Geopark Society fee waiver for use of the Trans Center Conference Room, one of our free uses. For information and discussion, but I think we should put up a discussion. Are we interested in looking at that? This is for, I guess they're, I won't even say it, bird watchers. But it's a big deal. It's a lot of people, and talking now, but probably was one day there, and it's really involved a lot of people. So I think it's something we should really look at. Councilor McCain.
Are you looking for a motion?
Yeah, a motion to extend this use of that.
And is this for one night?
Yeah, I think it is for one night.
Well, the date I see here is June the 9th to the. I'm missing some.
I guess that's something we could narrow down, but we'll do it for one night.
Yeah, for each day we waive the fee, it'll come off of our fee waivers. So there's 4, district has 4 remaining, and it doesn't specify how many days they want the conference center for, so that might be something to find out.
So if we just let them feed it for one night then.
Yep.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I think they're looking for 2 nights. I would imagine it would be for the 9th and the 10th.
We don't have anybody here.
That's the way I understand it.
2 nights? Councilor Hall?
What's the fee for the conference center if we had to rent it ourselves?
I don't know off the top of my head, your worship.
Is this something that needs to be dealt with immediately, or is this something we can get the information back on it?
I haven't had any conversations with the Geopark in having submitted this. It looks like it's in June. Mayor McPherson, I believe, spoke to Dr. Helm, so he might know than I do.
They were trying to make arrangements, so they wanted to know when some of the costs would be related to this, if they had to come up with a cost for each for the town.
Yeah.
The way I understand it, this turns into something further down the road where there's, you know, upwards of 100 people coming to town. Is that
Yeah.
in the next year or something like that? I mean, that's pretty good for that hotel over there as it is in my mind, but you know, they may look at it on their own, but we should be interesting to know what the amount is. If we run out of our 4 and we want to continue doing this, we should know what we're paying or giving away.
So, you made a motion. Did you?
Yeah, I would like to know the amount of days though, because we're gonna have something for the following weekend when the convention takes, the BC Community Forest Association has their annual convention right in Tumbler Ridge too. I think there's gonna be a similar request. I know it's not before us yet, but.
So you just leave this and ask for more information on it, see how many days they were requesting.
That's correct, and we'll get the cost for council.
Ready. Bylaws, new business, Bridge Firefighters Association, AGM. This is another request for the defense center. We get the recommendation.
Thank you, Mayor McPherson. I'm wondering if we should just hold off on all fee waivers till we find out the cost and how many we have and what we wanna do, or to, as Councilor Kai said, we'll be having the community for the community forest AGM. Now we'll have the firefighters, we'll have 2 days for the bird watchers. There'll be the small business Christmas party. Are we gonna lay them all out as one group, or?
I know this is kind of time sensitive because it's not that long until that happens. It's in February, I think. It's the date.
The 11th?
So I think this one's kind of time sensitive, and it's something that we do every year, is by that place for the firefighters AGM. Yes,
How many firefighters will be attending that AGM?
all of them.
Just our local firefighters?
Mr. Curry?
We'll have 35 people attending.
35 people in attendance, your worship.
Just on that, I think that, our local fire department, we've always been accommodating, but we got the bird watchers. This is a new thing coming into town that's gonna bring new people and it's gonna showcase, so, I mean, I think, we could look at that one too. It's up and coming. If they're trying to plan their events, or they're trying to plan when you're getting people and trying to put a package together, that, maybe we should look at them all in one and come up with that.
So, I don't know if that's what council wants to do. What was the dates on this one?
February 11th, your worship.
Oh, I guess that's this week.
Councilor Hall.
Put the recommendation on the floor that council approve the free use rental of the Trend Mountain Conference Center for the purpose of the 2017 Tumbler Ridge Firefighter Association Annual General Meeting.
Second that. Okay. Any more discussion on it? Okay.
Just that, that's what differentiates this one from the others, is it's next week.
And, okay, all in favor? And we'll get more information on the other ones, so we can get them next meeting. Okay, we can't do the TR Days Society annual request because we lose quorum. So we'll leave that off the next meeting too. So it takes us to 8.3, the inter-community business license. Recommendation. Councilor Kirby?
The council support the introduction of the intercommunity business license ICBL to Tumbler Ridge.
Mr. Wall, you want to just explain what this is all about?
Sure, this is an initiative launched by the provincial government in their red tape reduction program. And so what this will do will allow businesses in communities to go to their own town hall, buy their local business license. So a Tumbler Ridge business would come and buy their Tumbler Ridge business license, though then for a fee of $130, they would buy a secondary business license that would let them operate in any community in the piece. So it's going in front of all the councils in the piece right now, and it's subject to council approval, obviously. But if every council was to approve it, a business would buy one license for their local residents. They buy an inter-community business license, and they'd be able to work in any community in the piece. The way the revenue is going to work on this is that any inter-community business license that's bought in Tumbler Ridge, we will keep the revenue for that. So a business in Tumbler Ridge will come in, buy a Tumbler Ridge business license, this inter-community business license, they'll be able to work anywhere in the piece. Vice versa, a business in Fort St. John will do the same in their community, and they'll be able to come into Tumbler Ridge and work as well.
You said CAOs were, as a group, were all in favor of this.
Yeah, all the CAOs in the piece are recommending this to their council. This is not something, and in the report it says this is not something we're looking at as a revenue increasing or revenue making project. It's a way to make it easier for businesses to work in the Peace region. So if in Tumbler Ridge it's not that hard, because anytime you come down to town hall you can probably get in and get your business license. But if you need to bid on a job in Fort St. John, now you've got to drive down to Fort St. John, go into their town hall, wait for however long, make your application, and then come back to Tumbler Ridge. So it'll make it easier for our businesses to apply for work in other communities. But on the same token, it'll make it easier for other businesses in those communities to come do business in Tumbler Ridge as well.
Discussion on this. I got, that was a recommendation you made. You seconded it. So, all in favor? Okay, schedule of meetings. Any changes or anything really wants in there? Okay. Oh, council business. Council Kirby.
Nothing really to report, but just coming up before Thursday, if any councilors have any questions regarding the TR Museum Foundation or the Tumbler Ridge Golden Geopark Grizz Fest, feel free to contact me if they have any questions kind of regarding the fee for services and then just one question that I put to Councillor Mackay in an email today was concerns about the cutting that's happening around the area, and what part was the community forest, and you know, concerns of how it looks on the highway. And I was, instead of reading what Councillor Mackay kind
had it sent me, I just thought maybe he could just update a bit.
I've got it in my counselor's report.
Okay,
Could,
perfect.
Yeah.
Councillor Howell?
Nothing to report.
Councillor McKay?
Let's start here. First of all, we attended the budget meeting on January the 30th. See, we had a lot of big items there approved, and that's good. Nice to get those off the docket and get some much needed work done, as well as some aging equipment replaced. We attended the BC Natural Resources Forum in PG, and all the different resources within BC were discussed, but there was a lot of emphasis on oil and gas, lumber, and met coal, specifically met coal. Although there was some gold stuff there, there was quite a little bit of focus on that. Oil and gas. Discussion about Canada has got an available 300 years of domestic use, and that's just the known reserves, so there's more than that. And by the year 2040, there's expected to be another $22 trillion worldwide put towards LNG, oil and gas, and energy. And it's been brought forward by some of the other countries in the world, like China, India. China's losing 1 million people per year to health-related problems due to some of the smog you can see over there. And BC Natural Gas, it's among the cleanest in the world. And so that we got a fantastic market, and it's just a matter of getting it to the port. And I know there's a few issues with that. And so it was trying to see the best way to, I think the whole conference was kind of looking towards breaking down those barriers and getting it done safely, responsibly, and get it for sale, get it out for sale. And one of the big items was the need to diversify the customer base. I found it pretty hard to believe that 2/3 of Ontario and Quebec natural gas actually come from the States. So whenever we talk about an eastward headed pipeline, there's no doubt about it. In forestry, one in 16 jobs in BC are directly linked to forestry. And again, you could say that BC is probably the biggest hub of that. 69% of the Canadian lumber goes to the US, and more than 50% actually comes right here from BC. A lot of talk about the softwood lumber agreement, which expired October 2015. So the contract negotiations started again kind of slowly in January of last year. But it looks like we're going to be in for a little bit of a rough ride here. So we'll see what happens when that starts up again in earnest. For mining, we had Robert Gallagher. He was the director of New Gold, and he gave some statistics there of some of the mines they have going. Rainy River in Ontario, Blackwater, that's southwest of Vanderhoof, New Afton mines. And one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting is that local hire, Rainy River has 79% of their hiring is done locally, right from town. Blackwater, 66%, New Afton, 77%. So it's kind of good to see that, and I can see that now our local, or Canuma are kind of following that kind of trend, hopefully. Mark Edwards, he's the Vice President of the Community and Government Relations for Teck Resources, and they kind of focused on the met coal. That was 37% of the total revenues for Teck Coal, and that was 2015 when everything was kind of flat. So they're really looking towards the future. They said it's cautiously optimistic, but again, at least things are heading in the right way. I had the opportunity to go over to the Canuma job fair. There was 134 resumes by about 3:15 that afternoon. That's mostly local. And also to the community forest, we had our general meeting. One of the things that took place is there was a donation of cut firewood to the local Masonic Lodge, and what they do is they put a list up in the senior center, and that any senior or anybody with a disability that requires firewood, they can just sign that list, and it'll be delivered cut to length, split, and delivered right to their homes. And we've done that for the past 3 years, and it's actually something that some other groups in different towns are starting to copy and do the same thing. We had a meeting today actually with one of the outdoor ed teachers. as well as some members of the community forest. And it's to do with some of the trails around the pond area. And I know the pond, I think there's something that, whatever conversation takes place like that, this is kind of a little bit different than that. This is the ponds that surround that area and putting in like an interpretive trail. Ski trails and things like that. So I think the community forest are looking at, we'll be pretty anxious to do something with that group. So probably see something come before council here in the near future. So. Also at the forum, we had an opportunity just to bump into different people that you meet, and one of them was Chief Derek Orr, as well as Blair Lexstrom. So we had an opportunity to maybe bump start some of the talks we've had with Dustcho and some of that smaller fiber, because they still require it, and we have some, and as well as the gentleman from BC Assessment, which led to a couple of other things there that to deal with some of the mines there. And the subject, the discussion there amongst regarding the new cut block, and it's the one by the entrance to Bear Lake. We had an opportunity there last week after we had a meeting there. Actually, myself and Tim took a drive out there just to kind of look at that trail that the ATV club has, and fortunately that wasn't disturbed. It was kind of off a bit, but a little bit taken back of what happened there, or what took place there. And to be making no excuses, that's not the way it's supposed to be done. There's nobody defending that, and I think there's not one person on the board who wasn't a little bit dismayed at what happened. But there is a mitigating kind of what do they call it, a reasoning behind it. There's some fantastic timber back there, but that whole area there is not even saleable, and it would have blown over. For that, it's actually small. There's going to be I don't know how many cords up there, but when you drive by there, you'll see piles upon piles and piles, and they're all stacked. That's nothing but firewood. So that, yeah, pretty good supply of firewood there. But as far as the buffer, we're going back there again. We will do something with the buffer, and that trail will be a well-used trail. And that area up front there, I think we're looking at putting into a parking lot up there and grassing and everything else. And as far as the view, well, if you take a drive up the hill there, it's a spectacular view. When you look over toward, you're looking over the windmills, but you do see quite a lot of, it is pretty nice. And it will be replanted, I think it's slated to happen this spring. So it won't be sitting idle like that for very long. So they've got a compliment though from the gentlemen that are doing that work up there. They've worked with community forests, and they've worked with a lot of areas in BC, and they said they've never dealt with anything that is conscientious of the community forest. So we got a pretty good compliment there. So a little bit of negative too. So that's my report.
So are you saying that the cut block that they have that's out by the start of that trail is only for firewood?
No, there's some really good wood. In fact, that's some of the best.
But everything that's left up there in
Everything
those piles?
yeah. Well, once they're done,
Oh, okay.
you'll start seeing all the small stuff is going to be.
I thought you said that entire thing was for firewood.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I had Newman CN right first thing here, but since I've already let that out of the bag. I was at the resource forum too, and I had CN on my mind. I heard all the talks on stuff you were talking about. But I chased down Minister Bennett, the mining minister. We didn't have a meeting with him, but I caught him in an alleyway there, and got him to agree to a meeting here on February, which I guess we won't need to do now. But and he was very concerned about what was going on here, and he was going to do something. He might have had something to do with why it's happened now. And I also talked to Mrs. Bond, and she had her aide there, and it was leading aide for the premier was at that meeting too. And again, I talked about CN, and they were all concerned. So whether all this discussions that we had were led up to this agreement, I don't know. But I'd like to think it did. But, yeah, and I was on CBC this morning, so talking about the same thing. So getting good at talking about it. Now hopefully it's over. And, he say they're gonna start as soon as possible, that's really. Yeah, other than that, I was at the budget meetings and that went well, so. Yes, that's about it for me, so, go to the question and answer period. You're up. Anybody got any questions?
I was at the budget meeting last week, and you guys were talking about PRC maybe finding a loophole in some taxes. You guys got an answer back on that yet?
Yeah, that was the BC assessment that, Rob was talking about. We talked to them down at the resource forum, and they were gonna get back to us with all the information on how this happened. And, we were talking to Jordan, today, I guess. And, it hurts, but there's reasons for it. It's laid out in their plans, but it's not a permanent thing. Like, the word permanent's there, but it doesn't mean permanent. It will, when things pick up, it'll change, so. I don't know, Jordan, is it much more that you can add to that, or?
Yeah, it really centers around the definition of permanent. So in the tax legislation, it says for a industrial property to be able to apply for this, they have to be basically shut down for 3 years, and then they can make their application. Another way they're able to do it is if they're in a permanent shutdown, they're able to apply for this tax relief immediately. However, permanent shutdown to BC assessment doesn't mean permanent. It means they believe that they'll be shut down for at least 3 years. So it's up to BC assessment to determine what permanent is. So permanent in the tax code is different than permanent in the Mines Permitting Act. So same word, different definitions depending on the legislation.
What I felt good about is the assessment guy come and talk to me and Mike and Rob. We didn't have to chase him down. He knew we had concerns and that he wasn't hiding it. It's what it is. It's
$1.8 million hit.
yeah.
I was gonna say, so that's, it's 1.8 is coming off of the, your guys' income this year.
If council is to keep their mill rates is the same, yes.
That's one. That's one place.
So you're thinking tech and.
Why not? You?
But, I think Tech's already done a lot of that tech stuff. So what's left?
I think it's important to know that can be challenged, right? And the definition of a permanent is, and it's, we've seen other mines go through it. I mean, what is care and maintenance, right? So that's what they pressed on, is that was care. So yeah, I would hope this isn't the end all.
Probably not done yet. Anything else?
I actually have a question just about your discussion about CN there. Is it public knowledge, or do we even know what the deal was? Did CN pay the whole shot, or is CN pay the part, or is that public knowledge? Or?
No, there was a press release. He phoned me before they released to the press. And I guess it's not our concern really, because it's two private companies that are dealing with each other, and whatever way it goes, it goes. If there's a concern from Canuma's side, I'm sure we'll hear about that, but if they're happy with it, maybe not, you know. So.
No information that you know of though on how the deal went or anything like that?
No, he just said that he had an agreement.
Just one more. The $130 for that new business license thing that you guys voted on tonight, where does that money go? Like, does it come to you? Like, so if I want to, so it depends who, like if I come to you and want the regional business license, who keeps the $130?
It's here.
Offset that $1.8 million.
Okay, thanks.
Already, Trent, did you have anything? So, go for adjournment. Adjournment? Yeah, we don't have no rules today.
Yeah, move to adjourn.
All in favor?
No problem.
Yeah.
that answer?
Yeah, that was good. No, it was
Yeah,
good, and it was,
it's,
yeah, it was getting questioned or what, and towards, and it wasn't even just papers, because when you go towards Bear Hole, it's a whole change.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of that is ours, hey? Yeah.